Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. As the senators were preparing for their inauguration, which took place today, and also for the election for the seat of the Senate president, some of the National Assembly workers also were putting one and two in order to ensure that they walk away with something reasonable for themselves. And you're going to hear full details of that news in a jiffy as they were caught looting television and very important items out of the National Assembly. Possibly that was going to be their severance as the National Assembly folded up. We're going to give you full details and also how that points to the direction that wastage must be curtailed speedily, especially in this 10th Senate. Now, according to the news, some legislative aides and National Assembly workers have been arrested by security operatives for looting offices in the National Assembly complex in Abuja. The suspects were said to have engaged in the last-minute pilfering of television sets, cabinet shelves, electronic printers, furniture, air conditioners, rugs, and carpets as the 10th National Assembly is set to resume today. According according to multiple sources, the suspects were arrested while trying to move out of the complex without passes for the item. Confirming the incident, the sergeant at arms at the National Assembly, Chuks Obaloje, confirmed the incident but could not provide details of the development. According to him, he said, yes, some people were arrested while trying to go out with some items from the National Assembly, but I wasn't on duty on the day it happened, so I can't provide full details. Please contact the crime division of the National Assembly, Obaloje had said, and the divisional police officer in charge of the National Assembly complex, Alex Onago, declined to comment. However, the spokesperson for the Federal Capital Territory Police Command, Josephine Ade, said they could not give details. She had been unable to be reached. According to her, she said, I have not been able to reach the DPO to give you details of the case, and I am on duty outside. Commenting on the theft, the Director of Information National Assembly, Rawlings Agada, stated that the occurrence and the arrest of the culprit prove the effectiveness of the National Assembly security. He noted that some people were stopped and not allowed to go out with the items that were not assigned to their offices. Agada said, I don't want people to sensationalize the issue. What happened was the people were stopped from going out with items that were discovered not to be theirs. A pass was issued for the items and accredited to each office. The pass has a list of its items that should be taken out from each office. So if an item that was not on the list was found, such would not be allowed to go out. And just as you were checked and cleared to come in, you also need to be checked and cleared when going out. Now, this issue has generated a lot of reaction, but it still points to one direction, and which is the issue of wastage and the issue where people seem not to be interested in the asset of Nigeria. Now, first of all, these stuffs were bought for usage by the Nine Assembly. I feel that if we must be very distinct about financial issues, especially as it has to do with prudency and wastage, I don't think furnitures used by the previous, leadership should be thrown away or should not be given some level of importance. Why? For example, television. Even if you have to buy a new television, will it show you something different? Of course, no. And we know that each of those assets that we made mention, they have a lifespan. Some of them I can assure you, they can last for the next 15, 20 years. Imagine new furnitures that we bought maybe last 4 years, and just because a new senators are coming on board, those things are discarded, and people begin to, work out with it. It clearly shows that the issue of wastage has not been addressed, not even by this current, administration, because those things should be taken very important. We should look at a situation whereby we control the budget of even the National Assembly. Because if you claim you want to correct any ill in the society and you don't start with yourself, automatically it cannot work. So this issue must be taken seriously. I'm talking about the issue of wastage, because if it's not taken seriously, what we went through in the previous administration is going to repeat itself again. We saw what happened in the humanitarian ministry, where she was given as much money as possible. I saw, I don't know if it's a grapevine, but there was this info about CBN governor giving her as much as 500 billion naira on a monthly basis. And guess what? Even when all of that was done, there was no accountability. And I can assure you that wherever there is wastage, there is sure to be corruption in such an environment. And that is absolutely not what will help this country. Already we know that there are a long list of demands that Nigerians are expecting this current administration to meet up with. And one of it is to see how they can curtail, this wastage, and secondly, to provide the key needs of the Nigerian people, ranging from power down to good access road, down to healthcare facilities and the likes. But if we continue to waste like this, seeing everything to be too important, that's what I mean by important. Everything must be changed. Everything must be, those things that were used by the previous administration is not important for us to use. The wastage will continue, and that will give room to corruption. I feel that the government must do something desperately to curtail wastage, because if you claim that you don't have money to run the government and you still give room for wastage, it shows that you don't even care about the people. And it clearly also shows that you don't even have Nigeria as a country at heart. This issue of wastage, as we had talked about, can start from household properties down to the issue of electronics. We move it to even curtailing how much is paid to senators on a monthly basis, talking about their sitting allowance. We go as far as also checkmating the ministries. If all of these things are being cleared and taken care of, I can assure you that a reasonable amount of money will be left for the running of the government. And I think that is where Nigerians will really be missing Peter Obi, because he did it when he was the governor of Anambra State. And that was one of the major things that he had said he was going to do for Nigerians, considering the fact that the debt ratio or the debt portfolio of the country is really high. And all of that should be put in place. Well, that's what we'd like to leave it. Just let's meet in our conversation and talk about